Hey, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, hey, oh. Medicine warrior, burn your fire at the ceremony lodge, giving thanks to Creator for His love for you that we chose to sing and dance our death song. The Warrior Society smiled while training in the sun, proud to be warriors who chose to protect the young, training through the night so we see, while moving from tree to tree. Clans meet as runners are bundled, relaying the message village after village that war has arrived. Warriors called and prepare as mothers cry. Fathers carry children that are kissed once more, talking of happy memories of before and today, that everything is going to be okay. The fires are lit and I must go to war. The firekeeper keeps the fire from me as our warrior societies arrive. Tobacco and prayers are given, families' tears fall as children held tight, praying their warrior returns from this fight. We dance around the fire and sing our death songs, praying to Creator to be chosen to make it home, giving thanks to the days of love past long. Today we dance, today we eat, today we smile in the sun, for tomorrow we fight, tomorrow we die. As the eagle feathers drop and life begins, a circle of blood is shed once again. Medicine men, now warriors for all, walk the walk, knowing many will fall. Without a word, the weapons are braced and placed on our back, for now we go to war. Running through the dark and through the day, our paths cross warrior societies on our way. Our numbers grow as we near the battleground, moving so quietly without a sound. War paint on the weapon sharp, all wearing the same mark to tell us apart. Closer to the camp as our call is now heard, the warrior makes the sound of the bird, the sign given to attack, as shouts of alarm are heard from the enemy's camp. Only one thought, destroy the enemy from the start. Trained for war, we engage in battle, as the memory returns, knowing the sounds of war from the past before. Carrying warriors back is all I can do for them. I prepare my return. The voice of mother, why do you have to go back? It is not finished. This war is not over and I must return, or they will return here. Do not cry or worry for me, mother. I have to go before the village has no sound. It is love for you, for what I must do. Alone I am made to endure. As a warrior I am. I begin my walk back for one more attack. Another and another warrior appears. I spare not one as I look more in the eye. Their numbers now small as my darkness falls. Our children sing our songs now. They know why we had to go, so they will grow.
Isaiah 40, verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They walk and not be faint. We'll pray. We thank you just for giving us this platform, for giving us these stories, for giving us the opportunity to share these stories. We thank you for all the ways that you protected each of us on our individual journeys and walks through this life. We thank you for the places that you lead us to, and we thank you for your protection. We love you, Lord. In Jesus' name, the name of Yeshua, amen. Yes. I'm Ella, and this is my husband, Jerry Williams, also known as Leadhorse, and also known as Leadtrackere E. And we were sitting and talking, and we were watching. This episode is Standing Feather Stories, and it's stories of Leadhorse's travels. And we were watching a documentary the other day called The Journey of Yeshua, and it reminded Jerry of an experience that he had during that same time and during that same walk to share that path. And when he's told me the story before, but I asked him to tell me again, and when he did, I just thought this is too important and too beautiful of a story not to share with you. And so I asked him if he would do another Standing Feather Story segment with me for this channel, and here we are. this is a story about when you shut down a bridge, or you were played a part in shutting down a bridge, an international bridge. And a lot of people don't know this story, and it's something that might have never even happened, but they don't know that it did. It did happen, and it's just very interesting. And I would love to hear it again. I teared up the other day listening to it, and I hope I don't tonight, but I hope that you tell it in the same way that you did. And welcome to everybody that's here. Thank you for jumping in on such short notice, and appreciate every single one of you. If you haven't already hit like and subscribe to this channel, please do so. And then also to Jerry's channel, Leadhorse, I'm sorry, Sasquatch Choctaw Tracking. Let's go ahead and, Jerry, if you don't mind, we'll
say hello to everybody.
Yeah. The chat.
We'll say hello to everybody, then we'll get started and we'll share this experience. It's something to remember and something to share, especially with younger people, as well as people who, like she was saying, or Ella was saying, that it's a time when not many people know about, but also a time that may not have ever happened. But we'll share that story with you in just a moment, and it's a good story. It's a good day story. Tracker Lorna.
Tracker Lorna.
All right. She said hello, Jerry and Ella Williams.
Hello to you.
War Chief.
War Chief is here. It's saying halito, osio, and hola, everyone.
Tracker Lorna saying hello to War Chief.
JR is here saying, hey, Lorna, War Chief and all.
All right. Oh, Tracker B.
Tracker B is here. That's Bernice. She's saying hi, everyone, and waving.
And she's saying hello to Lorna. Lorna's saying hello back to her. And War Chief saying hello to both of them. And Tracker B saying hi to War Chief.
And JR.
And JR. Also got some amens from War Chief and Tracker Lorna. All right. So, well, at this time that we're talking about in my life, I was when I left here, when I left from my mother's area, but I had been going and traveling and doing other things and helping other people in different situations, and I was at this place, and it was with some Mohawk people and First Nations people up in the north. A place called Akwesasne near Cornwall, Ontario, and Akwesasne, New York. I've been doing a lot of, I don't know, standoffs and things like that, where I would go and help people. Sometimes it'd be chopping wood, sometimes it'd be on the front line. Sometimes it was in pretty much face-to-face confrontations, and no real bullet fire at these times. Other times there were, but not these times. But like I was saying, we was helping with shutting down nuclear power plants, but this was also a time when the Canadian government and the United States government was just going through tribal lands, tribal territories, building these pipelines like the Keystone Pipeline. And there's different pipelines. There's still tribes protesting. Florida is one. There's some. They're still protesting the pipeline and the Keystone Pipeline, but even though they forced their way through tribal lands, through Indian lands. But this one time, and this was like when the I Don't Know More movement started. It was in I can't think of the date um, or the year, but I mean we'll show it here in a little bit. And so I was running with good people, warriors who were voluntarily going into these places to protect land, to protect water. Even though we had a lot of rifles and things like that pointed at us, a lot of people arrested, false charges, of course, just to get us out of the way. A lot of dangerous situations, but young warriors who knew these were the right things to do, because even some of the tribal governments were rolling over and taking money from these oil companies and investors and things like that, and they were making quite a bit of money, and they would afterwards pretend that they didn't know anything about these pipelines coming through until they were at the front doors, and then people found out later that these chiefs were a part of that. But these young warriors, they were going to different places and, staying days and nights out in the cold, out in the rain, hot sun, different situations. We had a lot of places that we had to go. And I was privileged to be a part of a lot of standoffs, a lot of people call them protests, but we don't call them that. We call it protecting or guarding or being caretakers of the land. And that's where the phrase comes from, water protectors and land protectors. And that was a phrase I came up with before it went viral and everybody started using it. They were using the word protest, and I said, you can't use the word protest. If you use the word protest, there's statutes and there's codes, there's fines and things like that go with that word. But if you use the word protector or guardian or caretaker, there's no law against that. That's what your right is to protect the land and protect the water and to be stewards and caretakers of the land. So that went viral for being water protectors and land protectors.
The movement was in 2012 and 2013.
2012 and 2013. That's when the I Don't Know More kind of situation started, because these companies were barreling through tribal lands, trying to use the it's some phrase that they use, like a rite of passage. It's a eminent domain is what they were trying to use, and we said there is no eminent domain here, not on tribal lands, not on native lands. But they were trying to use it, and they were forcing their way through with military, police, armored vehicles, boats, and things like that. And nothing was legal. They were forcing their way through. So that's when the I Don't Know More people and groups started communicating with each other across the lands and saying, well, if y'all protest over there, we'll come help you. And well, even though they were saying that, but I was saying, if you're protecting over there, we'll help you protect it. We'll help you protect your land. And so there was I think it was in December of 2012, because this happened when we shut down the bridge, happened January the 5th, 2013. And so some of the people I know from different reservations, the Sioux, the Dakota, Dene, some Cree, Penobscots, Passamaquoddy, different tribes along that northern border. And we had already talked to the United States said you can't build a fence through tribal lands, and no one gave them permission, but they forced their way through. And we've seen a lot of people supporting that for some reason, but that line that was through tribal lands, it was not agreed upon. So those walls are illegal on tribal lands, and they desecrated burial grounds, the United States and the Canadian government. They just forced their way through. So it was the young people, and this was a young people movement. It's not, didn't have to do anything with chiefs, didn't have to do anything to do with headmen, clan leaders, or anything like that. These were young people that the older people have done their part. And some of them were still standing at this time and helping guide and show them what they can do and what works, what doesn't work. And that's where I learned a lot of things from too, with the elders. But the younger generation, and I'm like right in the middle, I got to learn from the elders, and then I would pass information on. But they all see me as a strong figure because I wouldn't back down. I wouldn't take money, and I was offered, and everybody knows that, $3 million a year from some oil companies to step aside, not say a word anymore, not protest or not help anybody, basically turn my back on my own people and just take my money and go and do what I want to do.
Shut up.
And basically they wanted me to shut up, which that runs maybe about $45 million right now if I did do that. But I didn't do that. So the young people from different tribes, because they had my number from different standoffs and things, they called me and they said, all these young people are with this I Don't Know More movement. They're asking if we can shut down every entry point from, I think it was from Maine to Oregon, the whole entire line from the United States and Canada, that we shut down every international bridge, every entry and exit point, as in solidarity with each other, when all the tribes come together to stand together and all shut down the international bridge. So they got a hold of me, and they told me what they wanted to do, and that there's going to need some help. And I said, well, I know what you're doing, and it's a good thing, and it will bring solidarity together. But I need to talk to a couple people, because if it's going to happen in this area, this is not my area, but I know the leaders and the warriors who will stand with y'all. I'll stand with you too. Don't worry about that. I'll be there. Even if I'm by myself, I'll stand there with you. And so the young people are starting to organize. From east and west, they're starting to organize. They're getting together with people in their communities, Indian villages, Six Nations, Onondagas, Oneidas. Everyone is starting to get wind of this. And it's still a young people movement. That's how it's spreading so fast, because everybody's on Facebook, everybody's got Twitter, everybody's got MySpace at that time. So all these young ones are all on MySpace and things like that. I don't think Facebook was out.
In an organic movement, not created by high-ups and politicians.
Yeah. Grassroots is what they call it. Just young people who are willing to say no, to stop these governments from just running through their areas and destroying their land, and which is going to destroy their future. And these young ones were worried about it, which was good that they were worried about their future and their families. Now it's all over the place at this time. There's flyers going up. There's talks on the MySpace and messaging, phone calls, and it's from east to west. And these are different tribes talking to each other. But it's the young ones. It's not the corporation chiefs. It's not the chiefs that would sell you out. It's just the young ones saying, we've had enough, and we're getting even sold out by our own chiefs and councils that we have to do something ourselves. And so, but now the chiefs are getting wind of all this. And some of these chiefs got big heads. And when you see the youth starting to make a movement or starting to do something, their heads are so big that they think that they have to come and ask them for permission to protect their land. And these young ones weren't going to their chiefs. They weren't going to their headsmen. They were contacting each other all along the east and west. Sounded like a jet flying over.
They weren't asking for permission.
Maybe it's the computer out here. But yeah, they weren't asking permission to shut down international bridges, international ports, international passageways. This is, it's heavily guarded. They have on one side you have the Canadians, and the other side you have the Americans, and you got to go through both ports to either enter or leave. So the chiefs are getting wind of this, and so they start calling other chiefs and saying, "Do you know what's going on?" And the other chiefs like, "No, what's going on?" They start passing information and saying these young ones are talking about shutting down our ports, in our tribes, in our areas. And like I said, that these chiefs have big heads, thinking that you have to ask them for everything or to do anything. And that's the way it was, or it may still be in most of these places. So and they're still contacting me, and I'm saying, yeah, but like I said, this is not my area. I know there's about 10 or 20 of us, 10 or 15. We will stand. We will do what we have to do, and we'll be there with you. But these are tribes in different areas, so they would have to shut down here, 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 all across the east and the west. So the chiefs, they have a big meeting on the island, which is between the United States and Canada. There's a place called Cornwall Island, but it belongs to the Mohawk people. And right there, there was a protest building started by the elders to not have guns on the ports right there, because the governments were already doing bad things to the native people. And if they had guns also, things would escalate. So I get invited to that meeting. And I've been to many tribal meetings with many different tribes. I know a lot of the leaders. And that's why I always, if I hear something, I'll say, well, what tribe are you talking about? Just let me know, because I know quite a few tribes, and I can contact somebody there and get the correct information if there's information coming in or going out. And if anybody's confused, we'll ask certain people and get the right information. So I go to this meeting, and there are different tribes, there are different headsmen, and people from this community that I'm at right now. And I'm listening. I'm over on the side, and I'm listening, but I'm also drinking coffee. I'm having some snacks because I'm just listening to what all these tribes are talking about as far as are they going to help these young people? What are they going to do? Because young people still aren't asking them for help. They're saying, we're going to shut this down. But of course, the chiefs want to be the ones saying, yes, we will do this, or no, we won't do this. Even though they're not the ones who started this. So I'm in this meeting, and again, it's full. There's chiefs from different tribes there, and so I'm listening, and one of the chiefs actually stood up from the Canadian side and said, I don't know why we're even talking about this, because these young ones, they didn't ask us. They didn't ask us if they could shut down the bridges, and that may get us in trouble. And they're worried like that. And so I'm still just sitting back listening to this guy who's standing up, but he said they didn't ask us. They didn't ask our permission to do this. So I don't think we should help them. And I don't even know who this I Don't Know More movement is, which he didn't, because he wasn't into stopping things. He was a part of taking the money and letting things go. He goes, I don't know who this I Don't Know More movement is anyway, or what they're doing, but they're going to cause a lot of problems in our territories and everything. And so we're listening to all the chiefs, and they're all kind of talking about, well, what should we help these young people? Because, we have resources as the tribal community, and we can help them if that's what everyone wants to do. Another chief, which was a female, she stood up and she said, there's going to be people arrested. We're going to have money set aside to bail them out, to get them out of jail. The court costs, these young ones are going to cost us a lot of money for doing what they're doing. And another one stands up and he says, we really don't have to shut the bridge down. We can do a walk. And I would say, let's just walk up to the gate and turn around, just to let them know that we could have shut it down if we wanted to. And I'm listening to all this. And to me, that's like, going up to the door and just almost knocking and say, I was just kidding.
Right. Psych.
Psych. I was just kidding. We were just kidding. We're not really going to show our rights.
We'll still obey.
Yeah, we'll obey you. We'll bow down.
We'll follow the script.
Follow the script. So I'm listening to these chiefs, and that was probably one of the last ones that I heard. And because I'm just sitting back and listening, and being Choctaw from Oklahoma, the only Choctaw that was in this meeting with these chiefs. Choctaws are pretty strong people. When we set our mind to something, we can show up with a force, or we can do pretty much what we need to do, and not afraid to fall in battle if that's what it takes. Now, there are some Choctaws who will sell you out, but there's young warriors, young people that have that heart still. And so when I'm listening to all these chiefs, all the ones in power, as you would say, all the ones with the money, all the ones with the resource, sound to me like a bunch of scared
Cowards.
who didn't want to lose any money and was basically getting angry at the young ones because they're going to cost them some money. It's going to come out of the tribe's money for getting them out of jail, going to court, paying for that court cost. If any vehicles get seized, that they're going to have to pay for that to get it out. They're just
Even though
thinking
it's
money.
the young ones' money also.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But a lot of chiefs don't see it that way. They see it, that money is their money and not the people's money. And so I'm sitting there and I'm standing there and I'm listening to the one who says, and this was the last one that I heard, because I done heard this one say they didn't ask us permission. These youth are going to cost us money. We don't even know who these people are. I don't think we should do it. And there was a couple going, whatever the majority of people here say, we'll do. We'll help out or we'll shut our side down. But if y'all don't want to do it, then we're not going to get out there and put our necks out there. So then one guy actually said, that's why we're here. We want to know what all of y'all are going to do.
Can you back us up or not?
Yep. If y'all are not going to, back us up, we ain't going to put our neck out there. And so that one last guy, he's up there and he's very popular. And he actually got upset with me at another meeting when he finally blew up and said, that one right there, he stepped on my toes. He shut me up when I was trying to talk.
That was after this.
Yeah, this was a different time, but this is why he said that. But I heard him, and he was the one that said, why don't we just go up to the gate and turn around and then, at least that shows that we were there and
pretend.
Yeah, that we led them and, that'll be all we need to do.
Lukewarm.
Yeah, and I saw him. He gets to about that point in his speech, in which he had more to say, but that was about all I could listen to. So I said, I would like to say a couple words, which cut him off. And I said, and the room goes quiet. I said, these young people from different tribes are asking for unity. They're asking for solidarity. They're asking the people in this community to stand with them. One time. That's all they're asking. They're not asking for, to start a war. They're just asking for solidarity and unity one time for everybody to stand together and do one thing together. Now, there may be problems. Some people may get arrested. Some people may get hurt. But if we don't stand, these other tribes who are smaller than this community, and this community is known for having strong people. But if this community does not stand, the rest of them will fall. They won't be able to stand in front of what's coming. They're going to be overran. This is the only place, this is the biggest place and the most important place that's got to hold this down. And if we don't hold it down, no one's gonna make it. And I've been talking to these other tribes, these other young people, but I also wanted to listen to what everybody here was saying. I wanted to know what y'all were going to do. And again, on this day that they're asking for, on January the 5th, they're asking for everyone to stand together and shut down every international bridge, every international seaway and entry point, exit point. And I only know about 10 or 15 people that I know that will do this. And I'm going to be standing with those people on this day. We're going to shut this bridge down, with or without you. And we're not going to have IDs. We're going to walk through these borders without ID. And it may just be 10 or 15 of us. But I'm just letting you know, we're going to shut this bridge down and we're going to hold it for as long as we need to hold it. We hadn't set a time yet. I said, well, that's all I wanted to say. But I'll be here on that day with as many people as I know, the ones I trust, and we're going to shut it down. And that female chief, she stood up and she said, I'll be here too. And she said, and I'm not bringing any ID. I'm going to walk through with you. And then another chief stood up, and another chief stood up, another headman stood up. Pretty soon they all stood up and said, we're going to help these young ones. We're going to stand together. And once those, because other tribes came just to be at this meeting. Different chiefs came down just to know what this community was going to do, because it's the biggest passageway. It's one of the biggest communities, and so they brought everybody together. And some of these chiefs just came just to listen, just to find out what was going to be done. And once they found out that we were going to stop it, we're going to hold it, we're going to shut this bridge down, they all said, we're going to go back, we're going to tell our people, get ready. We're going to shut down our area. And so everybody after that, everybody was happy. Everybody was shaking hands and said, I'll see you there. We weren't going to see each other physically, but they're going to be in their area. And we're wishing well to those chiefs, and we're saying good luck. And we'll see you on the 5th. We'll be here. We'll be shutting this down. And it was a good day because everyone came together and said, we're going to help these young ones. We're going to use our resources to help them. Everyone was happy except for that one person. The one who was going to say, let's just go up to the front and fake them out and go back home, and we'll keep our money and resources, and we'll still be the top dogs.
And to pretend I help.
And pretend that we help them. Another person, before we left, said, because it was snowing too at that time, December. They said, it's going to be cold, it's going to be snowing, everybody get ready, everybody make sure you bundle up, because it's going to be a cold day. And I again stood up and said, no, it's not going to be a cold day. It's going to be bright. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be a clear day. And they said, how can you say that? That's a month away, or I mean, 10, 15 days away. I said, that's what it's going to be. Yeah. Creator was watching out for everybody, and just knew that we was going to do something good for all the young ones at this time. So I just knew in my heart that it's going to be a perfect day. It's going to be nice and clear and not cold and not snowing. Not going to be a harsh day for what we had to do. But I knew if we didn't stand, if we didn't hold our area, all those smaller tribes would have failed. And it come down to January 5th at 9 o'clock. We said 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're passing word to each other. 9 o'clock in the morning, we're going to meet. And we're just going to hold it till 12 o'clock. We're not going to hold it all day. We're not going to interfere in a lot of things. We're just going to go there, prove our point, make our point, show our solidarity, show our unity, and then we're going to let everything go back to normal so everyone is going to stay safe. We're not trying to cause a conflict. This is about unity with all the tribes, with all the youth, all the young ones. And it's good that the chiefs are going to be there to help support this, and we appreciate it. But this is a youth movement. It's not about the chiefs, even though they did take the credit. But all the youth, it was their doing. And I was just a part of that. And I'm glad I was at that meeting. Because if I wasn't at that meeting, or if I didn't speak up, they were right at that point, and that was the tipping point of that this would have never happened, and this area would have never held their ground. These other ones, they weren't going to do it. They needed at least one that says, we're going to shut it down. And that gave every one of them strength. So on that day, it was probably about 8 o'clock in the morning before we're just all going to show up at once and go. It wasn't going to be a dwindle. I mean, where you just come in and come in. We said, we can't do it that way. We got to do everything as a surprise, even though they knew we were coming. But 8 o'clock in the morning, everything was still peaceful. We were getting phone calls at 8:15, something like that, from these other tribes. And they were saying, are y'all still going to shut down that bridge? They were telling us, we've got our stuff ready. We're on the side of the road. But we don't have a lot of people here with us. Now, there was some other places that had a lot of people, but there were some that only had maybe 20 people. And they had to shut down international highways, international bridges. They didn't have a lot of people. But they were calling early in the morning and saying, are y'all still going to do this? We need to know, because we're out here by ourselves. And we told them, said, you're not by yourself. We're all together. We're all going to do this. Don't worry about us. And you don't have to call us anymore. Don't worry about us. We will do our part. We're going to shut this down. And we're going to show you a little bit of video of that day. This is just to show you on the, and I'm in some of the video on this, and that is also just to let you know that yes, I was there. I was with everybody in the midst of everything. Just give us a second here. And that's why we said that this is a time that may not ever have happened.
Should I turn the lights on?
Yeah, we could do that too. Give us 1 second, because I need to move this over just a second here. It made international news. Give me 1 second.
And while he finds that, I'm going to read. On January 5th, 2013, several international border crossings between Canada and the United States were shut down or heavily disrupted by Indigenous protesters, protectors, as part of the Idle No More movement. The locations affected, they targeted key economic routes, including the Blue Water Bridge in Sarnia, Ontario, the International Bridge in Cornwall, Ontario, and New York,
That's where we were.
and the Peace Arch Crossing in Surrey, British Columbia. The Cornwall shutdown, the International Bridge in Cornwall was closed by Mohawk protesters. Idle No More. These actions were part of a wider series of protests by First Nations in Canada and their supporters in the U.S. aimed at protesting against the Canadian government's legislative actions regarding environmental protection and Indigenous sovereignty. The protests focused on the idea that these borders divide traditional Indigenous lands. These protests were part of a broader, months-long wave of activity across Canada in late 2012 and early 2013.
Okay, so we're going to turn this video around. We're going to show you 2 videos. And we'll stop it where we need to just to show you.
So I can go down
To show you. It's kind of heavy for me. Let's get this lined up here. Oh.
Move the TV closer. Okay.
Yeah, we can work with that. So you can see on that day, it was bright, it was sunny, It wasn't cold. Everybody was on the way back. Everybody was, taking coats off, taking their toboggans off, mittens. It was a warm day. It was a oddly warm day for um, January the 5th.
We'd also like to say fair use using this video. It's for educational purposes, these videos,
Yeah, let me put that.
and to give credit to
They support peaceful protest.
who make those videos.
Okay, let me. I'll just do it this way.
There it is.
Did you see it?
Well, I don't know more.
Oh.
Shorten it.
So, to me, I thought we was only going to have about 15 or 20 people that I knew that I could trust to be there and do this. But once all the chiefs had said yay that they're going to help, and they started putting on the radio, putting on all their departments. They were telling everybody to be there. All the youth were rounding up, and the warriors, they rounded up. And so thinking from 10 to 20, it turned into 2,000, at least 2,000, 2,500 people who showed up to help with this blockade.
Just at this one spot?
Just at this one blockade, yeah, just at this one spot. Now, like Blue River and the other place, the other seaway, they also had a lot of people show up, and they were blocking their area. But there was also small tribal entry points that still only had about 20 people, and they were holding their own. And they were saying that they were taking a lot of flack. I mean, there was people trying to use diesels to push them out of the way, trying to run over them. Trying to break up that protest, trying to pull them out of the way. But they held their ground because we held ours. And we only held it till 12, and we let everything go after that. But I want to show you this video too, because that one video right there was showing, the amount of people that was showing up. And also, I also want to say that when we showed up at 9 o'clock in the morning and people started lining up and getting together, there was reporters and there was people of different nationalities who showed up to support. Most of these were Indians, but some, as you would say, white people, or they showed up to support us. And the guards actually tried to grab them and arrest them. But the women, they grabbed everybody and said, get inside, get in the middle of us, and we'll protect you. And so once that happened, you should have seen, there were some smiling people, because they knew that all these Indians were protecting them, and they were not going to be bothered today. So there's two international bridges, the American side and the Canadian side. As we're lining up and heading out at 9 o'clock, we start coming over to that first international bridge, and at that time it's a big arc kind of bridge. Both of them are. And we're drumming, we're singing, and I help organize that. And then when we come over that first hill, the first bridge, we think it's just us, and there's probably maybe about 600, probably that many. And we're all walking together, singing peacefully. But as soon as we went over the top of that bridge, once we broke the top of that arc, and we could see the island, we could see that there was probably 1,000 people on the island waiting to join us. And people started whooping and giving war cries and screaming, and they were crying. There was everything. They were so happy that they weren't alone. And when the people on the island, the 1,000-something people, they were screaming and hollering back, and it just got so loud. And we didn't stop and meet with them. We just kept going. And everybody from the island, they joined in. They just got in line, and we all traveled together. The elders, they were taken in little rangers. There was a bus that the tribe put together for the older people. So everybody it was exciting to be there, especially when we broke the top of that arc. And everybody's seen that they had more support than they thought they had. It just went crazy after that. People were screaming, praying, crying, everything, knowing more people came to stand by their side, that they all came together. And so this is about going through the second crossing on the Canadian side. No one or everyone was told, don't bring IDs. Not on this day, you're not going to need it. Not when you have this many Indians together in unity. So we're going to show this video also. And this is when everyone crossed through the Canadian side and what happened there as well. Make sure I'm at the right spot.
There we go. That means it's dead. Battery exhausted.
Back to up just a second. Anybody know who this person is? Anybody know who that is right here?
Am I allowed to answer?
Who this person is? Anybody know who that person is? And I don't know who these people are. And this guy comes up and talks to me about video with the news and everything. I said, no, I'm not the one. I said, they have designated people to talk to. But he could tell I had something to do with it. But that's me right there. And that's in on the Canadian side. Nobody had ID. Now, if you've ever heard my war cry, you're going to hear it in just a second, and you'll be able to tell which one it is, too. I'm going to play that real fast. Wish that thing didn't come on, whatever it is. But you could tell that was my war cry by even the reaction of the people. There's other people, doing their cries and everything. And these people are standing there. Not a big deal, but when they hear me, they turn their head because mine's a little louder than most.
A lot of practice.
I'm just going to fast forward this to the.
Did you show the one chief that?
No, that's in a different video.
Okay.
That's okay, though.
Stephen Harper's gotta go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Stephen Harper's gotta go!
All right. So,
Turn the light back on.
yeah. We'll go back to
Notice
TV.
how peaceful.
If we
it
can
all
back the
was,
TV
too.
up too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us 1 second here. Is that in the flat? We could probably turn the top one on too. And we only held that till about 12 o'clock, and then we let traffic flow back through. But that was the point that we're making, that if or when we need unity, we can pull it together pretty quick. And the tribes know that they're not alone, that they do have support now, and they still keep that support together now. I'm not sure about the chiefs because they did sell out a lot of people too. And also, what was kind of funny was that the chiefs actually had another protest like that, probably about a month later, or maybe it's either a week or a month, something. I was just seeing it on the news, where they went up and took papers and saying that this is our land and everything. But it wasn't the chiefs that was there at the protest. These were other chiefs that come up and tried to take more credit from what the youth were doing. And that's why you got to watch those chiefs, because good smile and good handshake. It's the intentions behind it. Just got to be careful. You got to know who they are.
Really, even a lot of celebrities that'll show up just for a photo op and then they're gone. They're only there for show. They don't really stay and support anything.
Yeah. Yeah. But this was a time that could possibly have never happened, because the chiefs that came to find out what was going to happen, if everybody was going to be in unity, if everybody was going to help and support each other, because they were smaller tribes, and they were asking and come to see that if y'all stand, we'll stand. But if y'all ain't going to stand, we're not going to put our necks out there, and we're not going to be those ones that get arrested, get hurt, things like that. But we let them know that, and it came close, until I just couldn't let these certain people let all these youth down without saying something. And so I spoke up and let them know, if it's 10 or 20 of us, we're going to hold this bridge with or without you. But if we don't, they're all going to fall. If we break, if we don't hold this line, everybody's going to fall. They're all dependent on this area. And I mean, like I was saying, they were letting us know, we're taking a lot of flack over here. There's people trying to run us over. There's diesels trying to push through. People are trying to fight them, get them out of the way, get that road back open. But they held it. And we only held it till 12 o'clock. And once that was done and they pulled their blockades and everything off the roads and off the bridges, they were relieved in a way. The smaller ones, they were relieved but we were proud of them, because they didn't have a lot. But they did. They stood their ground. They held their ground in unity. But they were in contact with us. I wasn't on the phone with them, but there was other people. They were the ones who were communicating with all the other tribes, and they let us know exactly what was going on. But it was something too, because they kept asking, "Are y'all gonna do it?" Because we said 9 o'clock, but at 8:30, there's still nobody there. 8:45, there's nobody there, and at about 5 till 9, cars just started coming in. Rangers started coming in. There was dropping people off. Cars were turning around. People were just getting dropped off, and that quick, there was at least 600 people heading towards the American border side. And the guards, there's some videos, if you watch the guards, they're like stepping out of the way, and they're trying not to bump into people, and they're standing on the sides. That's not normally how they act when they've got 5 guards on one person. You know, they try to bully them, talk loud, yell at them, scream, hit them, put them in cages. But when you got 2,000, 2,500 that lined up against what, they're 30, uh, they were peaceful. They stepped to the side and didn't say a word, let everybody walk through. They tried to close the gate at one time, and then the warriors lifted that gate back up to let everybody through. They didn't say a word about that. They were peaceful that day. It's the first time we've seen the peaceful border guards too. They weren't so loud and rude and trying to put charges and trying to put people in jail. They were
Cooperative.
to say the least. We'll see if we got any questions or anything, but that is when we shut down the international bridge in Cornwall and Aguasasni, and other ones did the same thing in different places. It was a time of unity for the youth, for the young ones, and I was privileged to be a part of that. And I'm glad I was there to help turn the tide as far as what we were going to do, because if I wasn't there and if I didn't speak up, I don't think it would have happened, because it didn't have to happen. It was just something that the youth wanted to have unity about. And it got to the point before I spoke that I felt, that's when I spoke up, I felt like they was going to chicken out or not help the youth. And just like he said, we can go up to the gate and turn around and come back, just to say that, you know, we could have shut it down if we wanted to. And that was a point where, now let them know these youth are calling for unity, and if they ain't going to be you, it may just be us 20, but we're going to do it. And that turned that tide around, and next thing you know, everybody was on the phone calling each other, talking to each other. 9 o'clock, be there. 9 o'clock, be there. 9 o'clock, be there. And word just spread, and once those other tribes knew what was going on, they were talking to their people. They were all saying, 9 o'clock, we're going to do it. 9 o'clock. Everybody's time to do it at the same time. And that was a beautiful day to be a part of these youth movements. And we've got some other stories we're going to be talking about, the journey of Nishua. We're going to try to do that one next for y'all, to let you know about that and what happened there. We was also a part of that. And I had some youth I was working with at that time. And that's a very interesting story too, of what very young people, the ones I had was from maybe 10 to 16, some youth I was teaching. And what they did was very powerful. But the ones that we were going to help were from, I think there was one that was 21, but the rest of them were from like, 13 to 16, 13, 18, something like that. The journey of Nishua, if you ever look that up. But we're going to be talking about that also and sharing that story of what we did to help them. It's a very powerful story as well.
And on this channel in the playlist, you'll find all of these Standing Feather stories that we've done so far. And take a look at those when you get a chance. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Appalachian Mountain Man is here. He said, did I miss it?
Well, we're not sure.
905.
You missed some of it, so you may want to go back to the beginning.
Yeah. O'Shea 1.
O'Shea, hello to you.
He says Jello. And O'Shea, is that, there was a movie called Little Giants of the O'Sheas. And Night Stars is here. Look at that.
Night Stars.
Everybody's saying hello to Night Stars, and JR saying
Great documentation of a great work. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome, JR. And it is something to, if nobody's going to do it, it still has to be done. And it has to be us, or, like I always tell everybody, I don't really want to be that one out there in that front line, but if no one else is going out there, I'll go. But it's always better when you've got other brothers with you who understand the situation, what can happen. But we all stay together, all stay unified. And, even things like that through my whole life, different things there's things I've done that I don't think anyone else could do that I know of. But I'm sure there's somebody out there. But
At that time, you were the only one
yeah,
that was willing.
and for one
God protected
example,
you.
sure did all the way. Just to give an example, I left from New York, went all the way to Honduras with no ID, no passport, no camera, no phone,
No money.
no money. And I made it all the way there. And I spent 7 months in Honduras, which is called the murder capital of the world, with a good friend named Berta Cáceres. And just getting through all these situations, I was shot at, arrested by the military, put in the El Salvadorian prison.
All for trying to share a stickball and teach people not to fight.
Yeah.
To teach people to solve their conflicts in other ways. People don't like that.
And sometimes just thinking back on some of the things like, crossing the river and getting shot at by the military, and how everything worked out, and how even when I was arrested, that without knowing it, I had made a friend with a military young man from the first time when I was shot at. I was released after that, but then I was captured on another time, and that one young man happened to be, which I didn't know until I got it. Just happened to be, which I didn't know until I got into the jail area and the prison area, that he was in the back of the truck who rode with because I was the captive, that he jumped out of the back of the truck while they were taking my handcuffs off. And I turned around and I looked at him. I said, "Imagine." And he said, "Yes, imagine." And that's first time I was captured. They had read the papers that I brought, that it was that the United States was wanting a world war. And I said, "No, that's not our people. If you hear world war, that's not us. That's not our tribes. That's not our people. We don't want a world war. But so if you hear that, don't be coming after us. You focus on whoever's doing that. And if you keep your peace, we'll keep our peace with you." And he's reading that, and he looked at me the first time I was captured. He looked at me and he goes, "Imagine John Lennon." And he kind of sung, but his English wasn't that good. And he said, "Imagine all the people." I said, exactly. You keep your peace. We will keep our peace. We will not have a war. And so the second time I was captured, which I had spent 21 days in that jail prison area, and that's a story by itself as well of what happened there. But when I'm pulling in, they close the gates, and I'm in the truck, and I'm getting out, and and handcuffing me. I didn't know that that guy jumped in the back of the truck to make sure I was safe and make sure none of these other guards did anything or tried to hurt me or anything. And he said, I came to make sure you was okay. But when
That
I
was a
jumped,
God thing.
it was. I got out and uncuffed me, and I turned around. I seen him. I said, "Imagine." He smiled. He said, "I wanted to make sure you were safe." And I said, "Oh, thank you, thank you." But by then, I was able to speak Spanish and understand and communicate at that time. I had to learn quick how to communicate. Um, but this is a story that we wanted to share with y'all tonight, especially some people who may not have heard this, and also to one of our youth, one of our trackers. We wanted them to know some things that we've done in the past, and that we see good things in our youth, and we try to teach all the youth the best that we can, to be as safe as they can, but also be strong throughout their entire life. And some of these examples they can build on, and say, well, that guy did it, or that guy did it, or that woman did it, or that person did it, so I can do it. And it gives them strength, and by sharing this knowledge with them of what you have to do in certain times. But we do have other stories that we want to share with you, different journeys, different things that did change lives by what we did. So I want to thank everybody also for being here and listening, and just listening to the information and what actually happened, because a lot of people don't know about that meeting with the chiefs. A lot of people, there was no one there except for the chiefs and the head people, some clan members. None of the youth were there. They weren't invited to that.
Right. They should have been there to be able to speak their
Yeah,
reasons.
yeah, they should have been there, but
Yeah.
or should have been invited. But this was all these chiefs coming together to see what the other chiefs thought about the youth who was causing problems, causing trouble, is what they put it, or how they put it. But these youth were just asking for unity, asking for, quit selling us out, quit getting us ran over, quit giving our land away. We got children. We're going to have children.
Quit destroying our land.
Quit destroying it. Quit giving permissions. So,
if you haven't hit like, please do so. Like and sub to this channel, and also to Sasquatch Choctaw Tracking. And check out the playlist of Standing Feather Stories. And there are several other playlists on this channel that you'll be interested in. And what else? Also, Tracking Miracles and Encounters. It's been a long time since we put anything on that.
Oh, yeah.
But if you have your own stories of how divine intervention or divine orchestration, where it was God's hand that got you through, or maybe someone that we would love to hear those stories and share those stories. We can either share them for you, or you can come on the channel, or you can call us and we can share that, just to encourage people. We want to encourage the older people. You're not too old to make a difference. Younger people, you're not too little to make a difference. And everybody in between, get to getting. So we do what we can, where we can, wherever it's needed, and always stay in prayer. And we're about to do that prayer now. Thank you for sharing that story again.
And also remember, Tracking Miracles and Encounters, it's how God worked to save your life, or to guide you in a different way, that you've seen a sign. It's something that God did to help you. That's what we're talking about. We're tracked back And a lot of times we'll start from that morning, from that, what'd you have for breakfast? What time did you get up? And some people will say, you know, my alarm went off, which I didn't set my alarm. And that's happened to us before too.
Sometimes it may have started years before, and only looking back on it, you go, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Or, well, there's that person again. There's some amazing stories out there, and we want you to share them to encourage other people and just to document that memory. Maybe you're documenting it for your own family history and your own friends and loved ones, or just even for yourself, just to acknowledge your history, God's presence. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. If we keep our eyes open and we're paying attention.
Yeah. Everybody's got a story, but whether they know it or not, there's a story that how God did this for you.
And it's a way of thanking Him.
Mm-hmm.
By sharing with others. And maybe it's just your straight up testimony. You're welcome to share those with us also.
Yes.
Also, we haven't set it up yet, but there will be a live stream soon about human predators. I watched a video not too long ago. It was a compilation of several different. This all happened to be women, but it doesn't necessarily only have to be women. But in this one, it was women that were in different situations where they were either living out of a van or camping, or anyway, they were alone, and predatory people were trying to get to them and almost did get to them. And there's so many lessons within it, and things that they did right, things that they did wrong, and ways that they could have avoided the situation. When I watched it, I just thought that we need to teach more people too how to be more careful. More and more people are going out there and living on the road kind of thing, living out of their vehicles, some by choice, some not by choice. But there's patterns of predators, and this is the human predators. Sometimes they overlap with the predator Bigfoots and the other hybrids, but in this case, the live stream coming up, it's about the human predators, and we want to share some lessons and some knowledge and some ideas of how you can keep yourself safe, or maybe you know somebody that's taken that route in life, and how to help them to be more safe. And we'll get that one up and ready, but it's going to be a good one. Mm-hmm. And
how to avoid those traps.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess that's it. Thank you for being here on short notice, and we'll go ahead and pray, and everyone have a good evening. Lord, we just thank you for all the ways that you take care of us. We thank you for the youth that are strong enough to recognize when things are wrong and they want to make a difference. We thank you for the elderly that are still trying to share their stories and their wisdom with the younger people. And we thank you for the people in between that still have the energy of being young and wisdom of getting older. And everybody's important. Everybody can make a difference, Lord, and we know you know that better than anyone. And we know that you love to take the people that aren't always expected to make a difference, and to use those just for your glory and for your purposes to make this world a better place. We love you, Father. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for these viewers. Thank you for our trackers. Thank you for my husband. Thank you for every warrior everywhere that did what they could to make a difference, and for the ones that will do so in the future. We love you. In Jesus' name, in the name of Yeshua, amen.
Amen.
Y'all have a good evening.
All right. So everyone have a great night, and we will see you all again very, very soon.
Good night.
Good night.
God bless and good rest.
She said, God bless and good rest. I thought we were
As
done.
Kay would say. Sorry.
Okay.
The thought of you came to my mind. and I called to see how you were. You paused, and without saying a word, I heard your sigh, I heard your cry, I heard your why. So we prayed and put all in our Creator's hands. We gave our fears and our worries away, and as you eased our pain, we said a prayer. I decided that I needed to do more than pray, for out of the blue I wanted to go to you. I wanted to hold your hand and say, it will be okay. But I also heard a voice too. It said they don't need you. Let them be who they are, and it's too far anyway. But that voice I've heard before, as I was traveling to pray for a soul who needed a friend, who needed to hear words of care. So I dared again to travel that dark and lonely road. This road I am traveling is a road not taken by many. When there is temptation and sorrow and traps to harm all who care, I know these voices will be there. The devil will be working overtime, trying to stop me from reaching you. And the other clearing my way, so still I go, for I know my Creator watches over me, shielding me from what could be done. For your Son gave all to keep your children safe. Still I ask, Lord, why do they not pray to you? For it's easy to talk with you too. Day and night you answer each prayer. When we do not know, we are praying as we say, thank you. Thank you for the voice you share with us each day. All the way you say, hey, on the radio, or when a friend calls and the next voice is from you, to show you have many ways to talk to us if we just listen to what you are saying. Thank you for giving us our daily bread, to see us through anything not sent from you. You cover us with your arms of love, so no harm comes to us. A thought on my mind of you, I knew it was too late to call, but I called anyway to say hello. I could hear your voice, but you didn't say a word. So I prayed for you and hung up the phone. I know you heard the voice you needed to hear, because it was the same voice I heard that said, give your friend a call, and your voice was heard once more. You give us the faith to know how great thou art, how great thou art. Please show us your grace for our faith. Thank you, Creator, for the days you call from out of the blue, because the thought of you came to my mind. Thank you for giving us our daily bread. Thank you for seeing us through anything not sent from you. Thank you for covering us with your arms of love, so no harm comes to us. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for giving us our daily bread. Thank you for seeing us through anything not sent from you. For covering us with your arms of love, so no harm comes to us. Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Hello.